despite the rapid evolution of technology, radio thus remains a medium that reaches the widest audience worldwide in the quickest possible time. While playing a different and important role in diverse communities, nations and regions, radio's most important role is played in times of emergency and disaster. And that is the theme for this year's commemoration of World Radio Day. Tonight, here on Talk of the Nation, we also join to highlight this commemoration of this day, which was commemorated this past Saturday for Namibia in Gobabis in the Omaheke region. And for this discussion this evening, I am joined also first and foremost by our sign language interpreter, who is Ms. Erica Ushona this evening. But I'd like to introduce to you now our panel of guests. And I start with Mr. Mukwame, who is the head of the Department for Radio Services here at the NBC. Good evening, sir, and welcome to Talk of the Nation.
Good evening.
Secondly, I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Japheth Itenge, who is the Director, Disaster Risk Management in the Office of the Prime Minister. Good evening, sir, and welcome to Talk of the Nation.
Good evening, Hilda. Good evening, NBC, and good evening, Namibia.
And then thirdly, I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Trout, who is the Chief Operations Officer of the Communications Regulatory Authority of Namibia, CRAN. Good evening, sir. Welcome to Talk of the Nation. And finally, I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Ilonga, the Chairperson of the Editors Forum in Namibia. Good evening, sir. Welcome to Talk of the Nation. I'd like to start by all of you by asking you this the very same question. 2016, apparently the first radio electronic waves, we discovered them in the year 1864. Why do you think, Mr. Mushuti Mukwame, specifically after all these years, is radio so popular 152 years later?
Yeah, because communication is fundamental. If you cannot communicate, that means you have a serious problem to address your needs, your wants, everything that you need to get assistance with from anybody. We have a saying that a child that doesn't, it's a traditional saying. A child who is carried at your back, if that child cannot cry, that child can actually die behind. So communication, crying is communication. So that is the means of remaining, alive.
Yes, and relevant.
That's why it's still important even up to this very day. And it will remain like that. Even before 1864, it was there in a different form.
Yes.
Yes, people still used to, when you go to the pyramids and you see how these pyramids were built, how they used to, the electromagnetic that they used to use there, they are still as relevant as then, and, that's it.
So basically what you're saying, it taps into the human need for communication.
Correct.
Mr. Itenge, your perspective, why do you think it's still so popular, especially when you view it from your perspective, disaster and risk management?
Apart from emergencies or disaster communication, I think radio is important in today's life because it can easily transmit a message to everybody who understands that language which is spoken through that radio. Whether that person knows how to read or to write, as long as he or she understood that language which is used through that channel or whatever. I think that is the essence of the whole importance of radio. Then coming to emergencies or disaster, I think radio plays a front role, probably ahead of other means of communication.
Yes, because it takes away the barriers.
I'm still to be convinced whether the social media might match the radio, because still, even with the social media, it might only reach those who have got this modern.
Very good, very good, very good. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a moment. It's a very interesting issue that you raised there, but we'll talk about that a little later. Mr. Trout, your perspective, why is it still popular? Just quickly.
The first thing is it's affordable. It doesn't cost you a lot of money. The radio, the receiver is quite cheap. You don't have a monthly fee, and it gives you choice to listen to. You can listen to your language of your choice, you can listen to modern music, you can listen to the religious channel, whatever your choice is. So I think that is why it's so popular. And yes, it gives information, because we're living in an information age. People want information, and not everybody has the smart devices. So this, I think, is affordability.
Very good. Mr. Ailonga, your perspective? The affordability issue has been raised, versatility.
Everything has been raised. I just want to say radio is everybody's friend. Wherever you are, you can listen to radio. You could be driving, you could be in the shower, you could be, you know, flying. They've got radios on planes now, done differently, syndicating. But radio is everybody's friend because of the fact that it's everywhere. And that accessibility makes it important, because I don't need to carry a huge device to listen to radio. I could just carry a small little thing like this and I can listen to radio. And at the end of the day, it creates a playlist for the entertainment, those that want to be entertained. It creates a playlist you will never be able to create on your own, and gives you content that you might not be able to have readily available all the time.
Good.